What is up? 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 What is up, Grocknation? Welcome this evening for our second edition of Murders and Mysteries, where we discuss various mysteries and murders that are infamous in our everyday lives. Tonight's episode is going to be on ghosts. So I hope all my spooky fans out there are looking forward to sitting back, relaxing, listening to this howling ass ambience I have going on in these various haunted locations as we speak about the paranormal. And my personal opinion on it, my personal experiences as well. I'm not going to touch too much on them. Those of you that are interested know that you can check out the videos on the playlist. I'll leave the tags for you guys. My very last spooky stories, I discuss my paranormal experiences. But this video, we're going to delve into ghosts in particular, what they are, what scientists say that they are, and what my personal opinion is going to be on the matter from my own personal experiences as well. So with that being said, guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So before we delve too far into this, once again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your personal theories and experiences with ghosts. I would love to hear it. I always ask my spooky stories to get some two-way communication going on, because this is something I'm very, I wouldn't say passionate about, but very interested in, because of experiences I've experienced. So yes, again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like this kind of stuff, we have a whole playlist of spooky stories for you. So ghosts, are they real? Are they not real? I guess it varies on who you ask. I think everybody knows somebody that has a ghost story, and everyone knows someone that's extremely skeptical, which is understanding, considering there is no concrete evidence. There's none. There is no video footage. Audio recordings are, take with a grain of salt. Are they real? Are they not real? We don't know. Some of the most famous ghost footages ever, shown can be explained. Almost all of them. So it's hard to say. Me as someone that has experienced multiple ghost stories, or multiple ghosts in my life, 3 at the very least. I obviously have a different opinion. Also skeptics, right? And I'm very skeptical myself. If I feel that I've had an encounter, I always try to explain what they could have been and explain it away. So, yeah, you really don't know. No one really knows. That's the thing. There's no concrete evidence. And this has been, ghosts is not a new thing. One of the earliest reported sightings of a ghost goes back to Roman times. A very famous ghost is the ghost of Anne Boleyn, Henry VII or Henry VI's wife he had executed for treason and witchcraft in the Tower of London. People afterwards, reported seeing her ghost, or a ghostly apparition of a woman wandering around there. There's been many accounts of ghosts. There's TV shows about them, documentaries, you name it. What are they? Paranormal investigators say they're energy. Energy of people that have passed on, people on the other side. That, get stuck in like a loop, a time loop, where they don't realize they're dead and they just keep replaying, these instances in their life over and over again. We can never know. I actually came up with this topic for Murders and Mysteries a few months back in September. In September, my aunt passed away in Saskatchewan, and I was actually at home for the funeral. I was a pallbearer. And in my spooky stories, which again, I'll leave the link up for you guys so you guys can check it out. My personal spooky stories. I told you in that series that I was never quite sure about the basement ghost. Again, I would have been about 14 years old, and I really can't pinpoint if it was before or after my aunt's house encounter. I think it was just after, if not the same year. I told you guys that I wasn't quite sure. That was one of the few stories I wasn't sure about, because maybe I was dreaming. The only thing I always said that kept me thinking it had to have been real is, I told you guys that I grabbed that cat and I placed that cat beside me during this encounter. And it was like a kitten. It was like a maybe 6 months old cat, little tiny cat. And when I woke up to this lady cooking breakfast above, the cat was still laying there beside me. Could I have been like almost like in a sleepwalking stance, I guess you could say. Like, I was asleep, but I was, moving and grabbing things in my dreams, maybe. I don't know. That's what I always thought. Well, I bumped into this lady at my aunt's funeral. I was very close with her as a teenager, and I spent about an hour fooling around. Fooling around. Like, fucking around, I meant to say, like, about all this whole gossip and everything back in the day. We were just shooting a shit, and one of her friends came by and she says, we were talking about my aunt's haunted house, which was across the street. Someone else had moved out of there recently. And I said they must have seen that ghost, or the ghost, whatever could have been in there. I had just recently found out the day prior that the only thing that possibly could be the reason that house had a ghost was that a brother had accidentally shot his brother during a drunken fight in the 80s in a basement, and they called an ambulance and everything, and he died at the hospital. And so people that have seen ghosts in that house have always said, maybe it's that, that brother, so to speak. And I touched up on that encounter I had at my aunt's place in that personal spooky stories as well. But, she told her friend, she says, there's Randy, he was the only one, out of all my boys, him and my son Trent, she's got 3 sons. They're the only ones that are scared of that ghost in my place, she said. And I was sitting there and I was like, hold on a second. You told me all those years ago that there was no ghosts. When I told you in the morning what had happened to me, you laughed it off. And you honestly had me thinking for the last 25 years, whatever it's been. Not 25 years, Jesus, like 23 years, 24 years. Pretty much 25. You had me thinking I was crazy, or maybe, it didn't really happen, so that did happen. And she's like, yeah, but no one's afraid of it, only you and Trent, you're the only ones. I'm like, oh my god, man, I thought it was crazy this whole time. I actually asked her about it again recently, and she told me that they didn't physically see the ghost, but they can feel it. Feeling, like everything gets heavy and they run away, she said. And I said, oh, that's what happened to me. I was laying in that couch and everything got heavy, and I started to slowly see this red mist forming. That's the only thing I can describe it as, and I fainted because everything was so heavy. Now, this is something paranormal investigators and people that study ghosts and this, energy that you feel. Ghosts will drop a temperature in a room because they're pulling energy from, the world, the earth. And when they try to show themselves or manifest themselves, they draw energy, and it makes the room really heavy, like energy's getting sucked out because it's all going into them so you can see them. That's what I think was happening with that ghost in that basement, and her saying that. I always thought of all my stories, that didn't happen. So I always I only ever had 2 encounters that I'm aware of, for sure. One of which just happened in 2021 at Fort Garry in Winnipeg. And, like I said, the story in Amsterdam from 2022, the curtains opening and closing, I can chalk that up to someone. They're remote controlled, and all the rooms probably have them, so maybe someone else my receiver's picking up someone else's remote, so I chalk that up to that. I don't know about the windows being closed, though. That's unexplainable to me. and how instantly they were closed, like within 5 minutes of us leaving the hotel room, both closed and locked. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe a maid went in there. For some odd reason, 5 o'clock in the evening, a maid walked in our room when we left and closed both the window and doors. I don't know. But again, these are things that they're up for debate, right? Yeah, famous cases, that have been in news, the Amityville Horror, haunting in Connecticut cases. There was one recently. Jeez. There was one recently I was reading in a paper. I can't remember what it was. It was in Winnipeg, I think. And recently at work, one of my shift bosses, my friend, I've known for like 7 years now. He was talking about this haunted place his sister used to live in town here, and that contractors that are working at the mine were complaining to him about some place they were staying there. They swear it's haunted, and he kind of asked them, like, where is this place? And they described, and he said, holy shit, that was my sister's old place. And then when he described it to me, it was my buddy Jackass's uncle's place, which is notoriously haunted. He has crazy stories. Him and his cousin, who's a bank manager, both have stories of that crazy place. So, you gotta have, like, when you hear, like, these stories, you gotta have, like, a reliable source, not a bullshitter, not someone that's gonna lie. My buddy Jackass and his cousin are not the type of people to lie. So, it's just, what are the chances that these guys would be staying in a house, the very house that my buddy Jackass's uncle stayed in that was haunted, and my friend, the shift boss, his sister lived in right after that, and it was haunted, and these contractors are complaining about a haunted house, and it happens to be that exact one, without knowing beforehand that the place was haunted. It's little things like doors are opening and closing, cupboard doors are slamming shut when they're in the house, ashtrays are getting flung off tables, shit like that, like little things. But it really is. It makes you wonder, what on earth could these things be? Are they actual people? Are they just? I guess Wiccans believe in like energies of the earth, right? Like the earth have elemental energies that they pray to, and is it something like that? I don't know. It might be the ultimate question. Outside of, is there life after death? That us. The human race will always ask and wonder about, because we don't know, right? So, yeah, it's odd. It's definitely odd. My personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, I believe that, like, when we die, we have, like, spirits inside of us, like elemental spirits, whatever it may be, life forces that are controlling our bodies, and when we die, they leave our bodies. And I think that's what people, we see, or people see. I don't know about, people in the afterlife getting stuck in loops and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know, and nobody knows, man. But there's things, like I said, that I personally have seen. When I love to hear from other people that have seen ghosts. I love it, especially when I know they're not trying to bullshit or whatnot. Like, I like to compare notes. I love it, man, because I've encountered these things myself. So, yeah, it's a very hot topic. I know when I talk with my buddy Dave, who's normally a skeptic. We touched on it in the Night Terrors video on our Spooky Stories playlist. This is back in the mid-90s. There's no internet. There's none of this. Or he would have gotten an idea or heard something about Night Terrors and an old hag lady. But, he had that. He was having night terrors for a bit, and he kept seeing this old hag. Something that is seen globally, something like that. It's unexplainable. We touched on it on Night Terrors. Him normally being skeptical about everything. He's skeptical on everything. He's like a scientist or a physicist. Physicists think it's absolutely impossible for ghosts to exist. Based on science, they cannot exist. Yeah, so, hearing somebody, a reliable source, talk about them it's always very exciting for me. And I always say, like, if I lived in a bigger metropolis, in a bigger city, it's something I definitely would consider looking into as a hobby. Obviously I wouldn't charge any money when I get into hobbies, or I get into, something I want to try. I go all in. Like, I would spare no expense, is what I'm saying. And, yeah, I think I would definitely go all in with paranormal investigating. Demonology and everything like that. That's something different. Now, my opinion on this is kind of a hot take, and I kind of feel guilty because, I believe there's ghosts. I believe there's, spirits and whatnot in this world. I also believe that, because they've been talked about and whatnot for so long, that it only makes sense that somebody possibly could make an evil version of it to make it really frightening. And, maybe that's where demonology comes in. I hate to say, like, maybe there's a possibility demonology is just ghosts. People trying to make money off of fake ghost stories, that they're these evil things. Like I said, I hate to say that because people actually suffer from these. My God, I couldn't imagine. If it's, something that's real, it's something I would not want to dabble in. It's something I wouldn't, if I were ever investigating something paranormal and I thought it was going in that direction, I definitely would get the hell out of there. But I think it's a very good possibility that it was something that was spun from ghost stories, like folklore, to make it more evil, to make it, a sinister version of it, and then it got tied in with religion and the devil and all this stuff. And because they always say, if you believe in, God, you gotta believe in the devil, and if you believe in angels, you gotta believe in demons. They exist, right? I don't know. Again, there's no concrete evidence. Thank God I've never met somebody that's, haunted by a demon, or has been, harassed by one. My buddy Jackass and his cousin Tammy, that ghost definitely wasn't a nice ghost. It was a ghost that would sit on their chests, and they would see dark shadows moving and everything else. And so I don't know. I know that his uncle was in bad health until he moved out of that house, and he instantly, started feeling better health-wise. His health really improved, But again, demons don't haunt places; they haunt people. So if that was a demon, it still would haunt him. It would follow him. So I don't know. In terms of that, that's my opinion. That's my hot take on that. Like I said, it very well could be it was spun, just to make, scary stories going back, even though, stories of demons and people being possessed, animals being possessed, goes back to the Bible. Jesus Christ exorcised demons out of a man and put them into pigs, if you remember that famous story from the Bible. So it does go all the way back. Like they'd say, the first demonologist in the world was Jesus Christ, believe it or not, if you believe those stories. But again, there could have been ghosts way back then, and it was spun into the story, right? I don't know. I would hope, as someone that would hope something like that doesn't exist. That's what I would think. But yeah, so that's going to be our episode, guys, of Murders and Mysteries. I figured I would make a quick little one for you guys, because I haven't made one in a while. Last one we did was on UFOs. I don't want to delve too much into this, because it's kind of feeling like a spooky stories, and obviously I like to make those a little separate and those are a little more theatrical. I'm still waiting to do my spooky stories that I started right before I got my brand new green screen. I love this green screen. It's amazing. But yeah, if you guys want to see more from that, or get that, hurried up, let me know for sure. Maybe make a poll, actually, see if people want to see that. But with that being said, guys, I hope everyone has a great day, great night, whatever it may be. I hope you guys enjoyed this ambience I had in this video, and peace out.